Oh, I like this shirt. It makes me look big.
Does it?
Yeah. Because it's a medium, I sort of wore it to make it tight. So it's like.
Well, what I'm liking is the fact that we are in shirts, so the weather is obviously getting a little bit better.
A little bit warmer today.
Yeah.
Right. Irons again.
Irons. Right guys, welcome to the Saturday Night Showdown, and this week we've got myself, Dan Hendrickson, Lee Whittaker on camera, and we're going to be testing out a couple of irons.
We are, and this week we're going the complete opposite of what we did last time, which was the better players irons. Better players irons.
I hate that.
I hate the word players irons.
It's like anyone can use a blade.
So we've gone for game improvement irons on this occasion, and I have picked the T300.
By TITLEIST.
By TITLEIST again. So I've kind of gone 2 weeks in a row with TITLEIST. But I picked this as a game improvement iron because I think it looks pretty for a game improvement iron.
Yeah.
And it's got the Starship Enterprise on it.
It does have that, doesn't it? I mean, it's as good looking as anything, isn't it?
Yes, it's a good looking game improvement iron in my opinion, but we'll get into looks a little bit later on. So this is my pick.
Okay, well I'm bringing out another Cobra. So I brought out a Cobra hybrid recently, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
SZ.
Z.
SZ in the UK, SZ for the American audience. I'm not sure about the rest of the world, I'm not sure what they're doing, but yeah, so this is this sort of game improvement iron that's just come out from them as well. So I just thought, well, whilst we're doing game improvements, why wouldn't I put this up against it just to see how it performs?
Makes sense.
So are we going to spend some time indoors today, or are we going to be getting outside? It's still a bit fresh out there. It's still warmer inside because we've got our shirts on today, but it's still a little bit fresh out there.
Yeah, but it's not cold and it's not raining, so let's get out and hit some balls.
Should we hit some balls out first, outside, and then come back into the studio again like we did last time?
Let's do that.
Yeah. T300 outside testing.
Outside. So this is TITLEIST's most forgiving T-Series iron, if I'm right in thinking?
Absolutely. Well, at the moment, because they are releasing a new one, the T400.
Oh, okay.
And that is, I've seen it, I've hit it, and it is powerful.
Powerful. So
very, very powerful.
Does that mean strong lofted? But anyway, that's the T400. T300. For a forgiving game improvement iron, I think this is stunning. I think sometimes they can the game improvement market can get a little bit overlooked. It can just be the standard cavity back, you know, not a lot going on because of the price is quite low. Whereas TITLEIST, I think, have put tech in here with this spaceship Enterprise at the back, which is to obviously give you more stability for within the centre of the club. And it's clean, you know, it looks pretty expensive, whereas sometimes it can put less lack of detail in the clubs. I think this looks stunning. Down at the ball, the thing I like the most is the top line. And what I mean by that is the top line is like in two halves. So here it's that satin finish, and that's what you see down at the club, down at the ball. But actually it's a lot thicker, it's here. But because this is chrome, it gives that impression that the top line is nice and thin. So the impression is it's not as thick as it is. Now, does that downside by game improvement irons or people who have higher handicap want that thickness? To say, I've got so much real estate behind here. So by negating that, would that put people off? Unsure. If I was back up at 18 where I was 6 months ago, I'd certainly be looking at this club, purely on looks.
Right, let's hit it. Right, about 180, but it is uphill, so it's probably playing about 190. Now, you've got 29 degrees of loft on this thing.
So it's about...
You're expecting it to be quite a powerful club, aren't you?
Yes, I am, yeah. Down at the ball, it's not too small. I quite like the size of it. Very confidence building for someone who needs that sort of extra real estate.
Whoa. That was a pretty impressive strike, and I'm not seeing where it's gone, but...
Gone left of the green, so I slightly drew it, but
great.
It gave that noise that we were talking about when we went to Blade. You know, that crack we were talking about? I was actually really impressed. It was power. As soon as you hit it, it sounded fast off the face. Let's give it one more go.
Not struggling to get that ball in the air either, are you? That's gone straight up in the air.
Yep. So that one was, I actually hit that quite low on the face. And it still went in the air quite nicely, so forgiving wise, it will get the ball in the air for those low strikes. Sound is nice. It felt lovely, especially that first strike, which was quite a good strike.
Yeah, it
felt as good as anything. Didn't feel soft like the forged irons do. I don't know if this is forged face or cast. We'll have to check that. But feel wise, for a forgiving cavity back iron, gets some good marks from me. Right then, Danny boy, what are we thinking?
Yeah, absolutely agree with what you're saying, looking on that top line. I mean, now when I look at it really close up, I'm seeing that it's quite thick. However, when I put it down, because of that different shade of colouring in it, it's definitely feeling like it's a lot thinner looking down at the ball when I'm actually looking at it right now. I kind of see what you're saying. So some people kind of, like, I'm looking at this saying, well, I prefer that because I want a thinner looking top.
Yeah.
But there's also other people out there that are going to want a thicker top because they want to feel like they've got the help.
Yeah, exactly that.
I think this is a good balance. I think it's kind of, I think when people pick it up on the shelf and look at it, they'll sort of understand that it's got a nice thick top line, which will give them a little bit of confidence. But I think when they put it down by the ball, I think that hopefully that will sort of, you know, that sort of idea will go out of their mind that it looks a lot thinner on top than what it actually is when you pick it off the shelf. Oh yes, that was pretty crisp. Like, I've got that out of the middle. It was actually slightly toey, if anything, out of off centre, but then I do hit it out of the toe occasionally. I can't argue with that feel and sound. Like, that is, like, I understand it's different to what I'm used to using from a blade. It's more, how can I say it? It's more tinny. It's more the face feels a little bit more flexier than what I'm getting from a solid blade feel. That in turn, it feels like it's gone further because of it. Yeah. So it's definitely feeling like I'm going to get lots of yardage out of that club, and that ball got to the green. My 6 iron in my set, I would struggle to probably get it there. Well, but that went lovely. I'm going to hit another one. Another go. Let's see if I can get it all the way there this time. Well, that was thin.
So that was similar.
That, to be fair, it doesn't matter what help you've got, that still hurts when you thin it that much. It still got in the air all right, but that was just, I'm not going to be able to take anything from that because it was so thin. But yeah, not getting a lot of help when it comes to a proper thin shot.
Cobra Dan.
Yes. And
like the hybrid, I've never hit a Cobra iron in my life.
Really?
Ever. This looks a little bit more like I'd expect from a cavity back.
What, you mean a game improvement cavity back?
Yeah, from a game improvement cavity back. It's just like, feels like they've just cut out the section and put some plastic in it.
Right, okay.
So this is what I'd expect from a cavity back. I like how shiny it is.
Yep.
I don't quite know what's going on with the sole, because it's kind of got a lump in the middle.
It's quite a large sole.
Yeah, it's got like a lump and then this bit at the back that I don't get.
Yeah.
And what on earth is that? I mean, I know what it is. They've obviously taken the weight out the top to be able to make the centre of gravity lower, to help get the ball in the air, because this is practically a 4 iron, let's be honest. But why have they put a go faster strike?
Well, it's bling, isn't it? Like, I mean, if you wanted some bling in your golf clubs, there it is.
Is it bling?
Yeah.
Is it actually anything, or is it just
diamonds?
It's diamonds.
Diamonds.
Man, this club's just got suddenly better.
Yes.
Actual diamonds.
What does it look like when you put it down by the ball? Does this bit stick out the back? Can you see that?
Yes, I can. Yeah. So the fact I can see that out the back annoys me. I don't like that personally, but as a game improvement club, it shows the real estate to be able to, that it's going to be forgiving.
Yeah, I mean, the idea behind that is really it's going to try and get into people's minds that they can get the ball in the air quickly. Yeah. Lots of help behind the club. Going to chop it up into the air for them.
I'll tell you what, I'm confused about the top line because there's so much going on. I don't quite know how big it is.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a hit. Sounded like a good strike. It sounded more solid off the face than what we were getting off the, like the TITLEIST sounded a bit tinny. That one felt a bit more thuddy.
Yeah, so it felt faster.
Okay, felt faster.
But it's also stronger lofted, so it's going to feel slightly faster.
27.5 degrees aloft now, so 1.5 degrees stronger than what we're getting out of the TITLEIST.
But I'm surprised how well it got in the air, considering this is borderline a 4.5 iron for where I am in my set, or probably a 5 iron.
There's a lot of weight down the bottom here to get that in the air.
It's it gets in the air quite well, so I'm quite pleased about that. From a game improvement part, I can see why it would get in the air for them.
Yeah.
Let's hit one more.
Hit another one.
I'm not sold on it yet. It just feels thick and clunky to me. Oh, that's drawing on lovely.
Again, from where I'm standing, and I got to say, I was closing my eyes there a little bit, but from where I was standing, that sounded thuddy.
It doesn't sound as fast.
Yeah.
But it feels faster.
Yeah.
Off the face, but it doesn't sound as fast as the Titleist.
Okay.
It just sounds a bit dead.
Okay, let me have a go.
Okay, Dan, what do you think of it?
Well, first impressions, it's very glassy, isn't it? I see that as it's very shiny.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Like properly shiny. Even the sort of blend in the faceplate in the front here, and then sort of how it works around the club, it's very, very blingy. Very blingy looking down at it.
Down at the ball?
Down at the ball. Cannot take my eyes off that top edge.
It's distracting, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
it is too
It's a
distracting. For me, it's a bit of a distraction. I just can't stop looking at the back edge. I'm trying to use the front leading edge to square the club up, but I can't stop taking my eyes off the top edge. And I'm sure over time you would get used to that, but for me, I'm not sure I'm enjoying looking down at that sort of blingy top, to be fair. I'm not 100% sure what's going on there.
Good straight shot. Didn't go as far as the Titleist.
I didn't strike it. I caught it a bit low in the face, but I've got to say it felt more thuddy than, from what you got out of it, is what I felt when I hit it. Definitely more thuddy, less sort of flex in the face of what I was getting from probably the Titleist. I'm gonna have another go. Yeah, I mean, like, to be fair, the offset and everything, it's all, I'm quite happy, and I'm not seeing the back edge like you were saying there. I'm not seeing it a massive amount, so I'm not seeing this back ridge.
Maybe it's because I lean the club further forward in my hands, possibly.
Yeah, maybe you're pushing it forward a bit. I'm quite happy looking down at that bit. Oh yeah, that's better. A bit hooky, but that's better. So I've got that a little bit higher up the face there. So I caught it a little bit higher, and I'm now starting to feel a bit more flex in the face the higher up. That first shot must have been a little bit thin, which is why I probably didn't feel it quite as much. First impressions, just struggling to deal with that top line, if I'm honest.
Annoying, isn't it?
Should we go and have a little look at them?
So all in all, Dan,
yeah,
not bad dispersion between the two of us.
Not bad at all. I mean, we got one that overdrew and went into that trap there. We've got one in this trap just there, and then we've got two up on the green. I think this was my overdraw. What was that? My Titleist?
Possibly, yes.
What was that one that got up on the green for you?
That was the Cobra for me.
Your Cobra got up there. To be honest with you, I felt that the power was coming more from the Titleist, and I could see the flight differences off when it went.
Yeah, I think this was the loft issue for me, because it's a couple of degrees stronger. It just went that few yards further for me.
Yeah, okay.
So we've seen them outdoors. Let's go indoors and see what data we can get with these. T300, Dan.
T300 indoor testing now.
So outdoor, I liked it. So now it's just numbers. See how far we are hitting this. So what we're saying this loft is 29.
29 degrees in loft, this one, yeah.
Probably expect this around 175, I think.
I've just popped a green out there for us at 180. Okay, just drifting it off to the right. Is it coming back? Yeah, it's a good shot. Hit the green. It's a really good shot. How did it feel? So
it feels lovely, like I said, outside. For a game improvement iron, I'm really impressed with it. It's quite soft feeling. It's nowhere near as soft as a blade or that Orca we tested, but for game improvement irons, for feel, it's going to get high marks for me. I've got to say there though, you've carried that 172. Yeah. But the spinning at 6,600 revs, nearly 6.7. That's really, really good for a game improvement iron. With that strong a loft, like that's pretty damn good. Yeah, and it's just showing the technology in these game improvement irons now, because that is perfect spin for a 7 iron. Yeah. Oh yeah, now that was even better, wasn't it? That's 181. Started it. Yeah, that's on it. Spin it. That's on it. So that's 2 greens hit there. Really, really good. It's solid, isn't it? Arguably, it's maybe I should go back to game improvement irons. So you've carried that 181, and you've got that spinning there at 5.9. So borderline 6,000 revs, which is where you want to be with a 7 iron. But I've always been a high spin player because of the speed anyway. So it'd be interested to see what spin you get with this.
Yeah.
With not quite having the same speed that I've got. No pressure, Dan, but I hit 2 greens.
I've got to say, at 180 yards away, I've got to step on this to get this there, to be fair.
Well, you can do it.
This is a big hit for me. A little bit heely.
Oh,
not coming back.
That is not hitting green, Dan.
No, that is right of target, that.
That's pretty embarrassing, to be fair.
So that, what's that got? So I've got 169 carry from that.
So
It's spun at 5.7 on the spin. I've caught it a bit low in the face and a little bit low and in the heel, basically, is what I've got out of that, which really did, I did feel that. It was not the most pleasant feel off the face for that shot.
Sounded better.
Sounded better, a bit pushy maybe.
Oh, it's got to hit the green.
70 carry.
No, it's missed the green.
Missed green twice. 6-2 in the spin. Struggling with that, aren't I? Feels good. It looks good. For a game improvement iron, I don't think it gets much better than that, does it? For a game improvement iron, it's as good as anything out there.
Yeah, so I expect this is going to go a long way, Dan. If I've got 181.
SZ.
Yep, the SZ. Speed zone.
What I do like as well, I talk about a bit of tech as well, in the butt of the club. Got Cobra Connect in there.
Yeah.
Well, that's a fitting one, but when they do come out, when you order a set of these, you get the Arcos in the back there, so you can get a little bit of tracking of your irons.
Yeah, that's good. Considering that's the £300 add-on for anybody who wants to retrofit it.
Yeah.
You buy a set of irons, you know, you're saving money.
They call it Cobra Connect, but it's actually run or powered by Arcos.
Yeah.
And it's a great way of tracking your statistics in a round of golf.
Yeah, it's good.
And
for
I just
data.
think those added little touches on clubs like Cobra, I think they're a bit of a winner, to be honest.
Yeah, we're data driven in 2020, aren't we?
Absolutely, we are. Right, give it a whack. Let's have a little go.
Right. So I've literally just got to hit 1 green and I've won, haven't I?
You have, yeah. Very similar sound to what we were getting on the golf course. That's a bit leaky right, that one.
It.
Bit leaky out to the right.
Wow.
So a bit wafty.
7.7 spin, 167 carry. It's a good ball speed, which you would expect off a 27-degree club. But yeah, it's just a bit of a waft at that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit right.
Let's hit the green.
Come on then, draw one in there.
Draw it in.
Same shot, isn't it? Or is it coming back?
It's got to come back.
Nah, it might just catch the right edge of the green. That one, yeah, you've got it. You've got it.
Get up there.
That drew in there nicely, didn't it?
Yeah.
173 on the carry. It's spinning at 6,000 revs, which was actually a decent strike, wasn't it? So it's slightly down on the spin, I would say. Or no, to be fair, it's in the same category as what the TITLEIST was giving us.
Yeah, so it's the spin-wise, it's giving me the same sort of numbers, but I've always been a high launch, high spin player because of the delivery I give it. So this is giving me similar numbers to my 7-iron, spin and launch-wise, but it's just giving me better distance. So the counter-argument is I could possibly play better with something like this. But what worries me about clubs like this is how hot they can get.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can just get an absolute flyer, and that 173 could possibly be 193, and that's why I don't use these. But from a game improvement, mid-handicap, high-handicap player, excellent club. Right, Dan, you've got to hit a green, mate.
Yeah, I do. It looks, when I look down at it, it looks very similar to the face of the F8. Not seeing the back edge at all here, again, looking down from the studio, and I'm not seeing a great deal of offset. Like, I think maybe the colouring of the head is sort of taking the offset away from my eye line. So it's actually quite a nice looking head, if I'm honest, when I get away from the top edge.
Is that hit? Is that hitting? Or is that missing? That's long.
That might be long.
No? Oh, fringe.
Fringe?
Doesn't count.
Bit of a push, not getting the draw today, am I?
But the difference is the spin on that compared to the TITLEIST, and that's give you so much more carry distance.
That feels more solid off the face, indoors. The sound, everything sounding more like what I'm used to feeling or seeing or hearing. If I compare it to what the TITLEIST has given me, TITLEIST has given me more of a springier feel off the face or sound off the face. This is more solid. I'm going to hit another one. Come
on, you can hit 1 out of 4 down, because I hit 3 out of 4.
Not aiming properly, here we go.
That's got to. Oh,
if I hold it, I win.
Oh, it's going long.
Isn't it?
Hang on.
Stop.
Yeah,
I
got
finally
one.
hit a green.
There we
Finally
go.
hit a green.
You are a pro. It is true.
I'm carrying that 177 on the first shot and 182 on the second shot. I don't hit a 7-iron that far from my set. That for 182 is about a 5-iron for me. But spin-wise 5.2, spin-wise 5.4 on the second shot, 5.2 on the first shot. So particularly low for a 7-iron. But I'm going to kind of ignore the fact that it's a 7-iron. I'm going to think that this is more like it's a 5-iron. And to be honest with you, if I'm playing this like a 5-iron, those numbers are pretty good. I'm getting good height. I'm getting good carry, I'm getting good spin from what I would get from a 5-iron in my own club. So the comparisons on that, it just means I just need a few more wedges from the set.
About 10 wedges.
Yeah, need a
Gap, A, sand.
Gap 2, gap
Approach.
3, sandy.
Another gap wedge.
Need about 5.
Lob.
Yeah, 5 wedges. Lee, numbers.
Numbers on the irons, Dan.
We've got to rate them.
I quite like them, to be fair.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like them.
Right, T300, let's start with.
Yeah.
Loft, it is getting 4 points because it's 29, so it loses 6 points.
Okay.
And the reason I'm doing this is because...
We've had some comments, haven't we?
Yes, we've had some comments about that blades will always be at the top.
And why 35 as well?
Because that's just...
People saying 34 is traditional.
It's opinionated, isn't it? Nowadays, I suppose 27 is
I think
traditional.
35 is a fair base on the fact that, you know, that's where majority of the bladed irons are going to sit, certainly from a traditional point of view.
Yeah, and my argument is this 7-iron is 29 degrees, so this is actually around about my 6-iron. Maybe it'd be like a 5.5 iron for me. If people are game improvement and they want to get the ball in the air, how is giving them less loft helping them get the ball in the air? So when you go and buy your clubs, people are always sold on 4 to pitching wedge.
Yeah.
A 4-iron in this is technically a 2-iron. Yeah. So a game improver is going to struggle to get that club anywhere. So what they're doing is you're going to buy 6 to 7, 8, 9 pitch, approach, gap, sand. So why don't you just give them traditional lofts with traditional numbers and sell them a 4 to pitching wedge?
So this is something I want to do a bit more research on, and I will be speaking with TITLEIST about the opportunities to chat with their R&D department to talk about their clubs, and I want to get to the more understanding of why they've done it. 20 years ago, when I was like young, coming up through the ranks and buying golf clubs early on, you know, it was always 3-iron to wedge. Yeah. It was never 4-iron to wedge. More traditional now is on the racks up in the shop now, I've got 5-iron to wedges in some sets, or gap wedges. So basically that's like the equivalent of a 4-iron down to a pitching wedge. And then on some of the other more sort of, I would say, players irons, not that we like using that, but so that let's say the T100 is an iron, that would be 4-iron down to wedge. But obviously the idea of the loft being so strong is to accommodate for the fact that this club is designed to push the ball in the air. So they're trying to manage the fact that they're lofting it right up in the air for us by bringing the lofts down. So, but I want to get, and there's an argument from either side on that, but I want to get down to more nitty gritty before we get into too much discussion on it.
In my opinion, loft is your friend. If you want to get the ball in the air,
I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more, because all you're ending up doing is starting them at 6 irons and 7 irons, getting them some hybrids, but then giving them 3 or 4 wedges.
As well as specialist wedges at the bottom end.
Exactly.
So you can have 7 wedges in your
bag. I want to talk to TITLEIST in more detail about it, and we will bring it, because obviously I get maybe hopefully a bit more access, so we will bring that to this show as well.
So that's getting 4 points on loft.
Okay.
Looks, I think it's stunning.
Yeah.
As far as game improvement irons go, I think it is absolutely stunning.
It is good.
Even with the Starship Enterprise on it.
Yeah.
So looks, it is getting for me 8 points. I think this looks as good as my club. Yeah. Different genres of levels, but looks wise, I think it's stunning. So it gets 8 points.
Yeah. Feel?
I love it. I thought when we tested it, it doesn't feel as soft as my clubs or the bladed, but I feel off a game improvement iron, which I'm judging this on its merits as a game improvement iron, I think it feels phenomenal, so it gets 8 points.
8 points. Sound?
Sound for me, I've give it 7, because although I got the nice crack off the middle of the club, it's just a bit clicky.
Yeah, okay.
So slightly clicky, and that's me being hypercritical.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it sounds amazing. So it's getting 7 points.
Okay. Workability.
I've rated this high as a 9.
Like, there's no problem, is there?
No. Because of the loft, I can keep it low.
Yeah.
So I've got to rate it on its merit. So I can hit it high with this. I can draw it, as we've seen on outside. I can fade it easily. And I can keep this club low, so it's getting 9 points for workability.
Okay, so that leaves, what's the total points on that?
So the total for this is 36 points.
36 points.
Which you take into account the loss of loft aspect. If this was lofted more traditionally, this arguably would be up there with what we tested last time.
But if it was lofted up, you might lose on workability because of the fact that you might struggle to keep it down.
Yeah, granted. So that's
there's
a good
always
case.
a counterbalance on that.
So I've marked it on its merits and it's getting 36 points.
Okay. Cobra. Did I bring that one to the table?
Yeah,
I brought that one.
This.
So yeah. So Cobra, what do you think about the Cobra?
Well, let's talk loft. It's getting 2.5 points.
Yeah,
because
27.5
is
very low lofted.
Ridiculous. It's like, what is the 4-iron on loft? It must be about 15.
18.
Yeah, that's a
2-iron. I think it's 18. I'll have to double check that.
Basically a 2-iron. So it's getting 2.5 points for loft.
Yeah.
Looks, I'm giving it 5. And the reason for that is I don't like this bulbous part on the bottom. That go faster stripe is horrendous. I know you said it was made of diamond, but I don't believe you. So it's just distracting for me. It kind of makes the club look thinner there, but then you can see the thickness here.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I like how shiny it is, but this bit here is typical game improvement iron. It's cut a bit out and put some crap plastic in there.
A bit of plastic, yeah.
Just some tacky plastic to make it look respectable.
Yeah.
So looks, it's getting 5.
Okay. What about the feel of it?
Feels awesome.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Feels brilliant. It's a slightly different feel to that. This feels a bit more thuddier.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's got a little bit more weight behind it.
So a bit clickier off the face.
But not as clicky as you'd probably imagine it to be. So it's getting exactly the same as the TS3, the T300 as 8 points.
Sound.
Sound, it's getting 7, same as that. It sounds awesome. Okay. It sounds good. It's just that little click that puts me off.
And then workability?
9.
Yeah, again, didn't have a problem, did we?
No, I'm not going to struggle keeping this low because it's practically a 5-iron. But on its merit as a 7-iron, I can keep it low, I can hit it high, I can draw and fade it. So I've got to give it 9 points.
Total points then?
Total points for this is 31.5.
Okay, so a little bit lower than what the title is.
Completely marked down on loft. And slightly on looks for me. Right then, Dan, T300 looks.
T300 looks, I'm giving it an 8. I actually would consider, and I have done in the past, consider putting one of these irons in the bag.
At the top end?
Yeah, the top end. So when I was testing out 4-irons and things like that, I was actually looking at these clubs to see if there was anything that could help me. And it didn't offend me too much looking down at it. I think that it's a classy looking club. Really, really classy looking club. If I compare them to a lot of the game improvement irons out there, this would be very hot on the list for me if I was in that bracket of wanting to play that type of iron. So looks wise, yeah, I really, really like it. So giving it an 8. An 8. Feel, we're going to go with 7.
Okay.
Purely because it feels a little bit springy off the face, and even though that's a good feel, it's quite a nice feel, it's a slightly uneasy feel for me because it feels like it's popped off the face and I'm thinking, oh my word, has that gone too far?
Oh, so you feel you could get a jumper?
Yeah, those sorts of things. Not that I saw that on the golf course, but certainly that is I suppose in a way I'd have to get used to that feeling, but for me, coming from the irons that I've got into this, it certainly felt springy off the face, so it was it left me in a bit of a nervous situation with it.
Right.
If I was playing into some greens with water over the back.
Yeah.
Sound, I've gone for 8. Because it just sounds great.
Yeah,
it does sound a little bit powerful off the face. So I'm really quite happy with what I'm getting out of the sound on it. And then workability, well, 9, because there's nothing I can't do with this club. I can hit it low, I can hit it high, I can hit it left to right, right to left. It's not, at the end of the day, that comes down to my abilities of face to path.
PGA Tour Dam.
PGA Tour Dam. So that gives me a grand total of 36 points.
Same as me.
Same as you, exactly the same as you. King SZ iron. So for me, I'm going to mark it quite low because I'm not a massive fan of the look of this.
No.
It's a little bit bulbous looking down at it. I think the back end, even though I like the colouring, really like the colouring, it's a bit like Lee said, it's a little bit on the plasticky side. Looking down from the top, I can't take my eye off that sort of top bling that's going on at the top there. I don't get it. I don't get why that we need that sort of added touch on there. So yeah, I've given it a 5.
5. Just on that, I noticed when you turned it upside down, because obviously it's a cutaway, It is just it literally is to fill a gap.
It is a plug.
So they've taken the weight out the top.
Yeah.
So it's more lighter, but it's just they could have made it less distracting. I feel.
Yeah, I agree. Feel, I've given it 7, same as what I gave the T300. Sound, again, same as what I'm giving it from the T300. I'm going to give it an 8 because it just sounds good, pretty good. Workability, no different than what I'm getting from the TS3, a 9, because I can work this, I can hit it high, I can hit it low, I can move it both ways. So, yeah. Why wouldn't I give it a high mark?
It's good from a game improvement point of view that you can have the workability on these clubs as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a little bit of a, I don't know, you know, we'd have to do more testing on that, but at the end of the day, you know, with 27.5 degrees aloft, I don't think I'm going to have a problem moving it from left to right or right to left.
No, completely not. So total for the SZ is
31.5 as well.
Yeah.
So they're exactly the same as what we've got. We've gone about it in a couple of different ways, but we've kind of come up with the same total scores for both of them. The reality is, could you game it? Could you play this club?
That one, absolutely not.
No.
I couldn't look at it for more than about 5 minutes.
Okay.
This, I'd put this in the bag tomorrow.
Yeah, I would agree. I wouldn't bother me if I had to play one of these. I wouldn't bother me putting that in the bag.
No.
Not sure about that one. I'm not sure I could put that in. So there you have the review of the COBRA SZ, or Z, as you want to call it.
It's a Z, man. We're in England.
And the TITLEIST T300 irons. Let me know, put your comments down there. Have you been out and tested these? Are you playing either of these clubs? We'd like to hear what you have to say. Remember, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing, and ring the bell, because if you don't ring the bell, you don't get any notifications of new videos.
Don't get to see us as often.
You don't know. Well, only once a week, Saturdays.
Shame.
Yeah.
People want more.
People do want more. We'll see you next Saturday.